a new foundation for growth and prosperity that will put opportunity within the reach of not just African Americans, but all Americans. All Americans, of every race, of every creed, from every region of the country. We want everybody to participate in the American dream.
That was an inspiring speech, and it was President Obama in 2009. Fast forward to today, and our next guest says things did not work out. Black folks actually lost ground under President Obama. Joining us is Tavis Smiley, PBS host and author of 50 for the Future, Lessons from Down the Road. Tavis, an honor to have you on the show.
Mr. Varney, an honor to be here, sir.
I say that what you're missing here is economic growth. President Obama went for fairness, spread it around. If he'd have gone for economic growth, everybody would have been better off. Where am I going wrong?
I'm not sure that you're necessarily wrong about that. I think the historians are going to debate ad infinitum whether or not he should have started with economics first as opposed to health care policy. That's going to be a debate for years to come. But in the end, the point of the book that I wrote that came out in January, The Covenant with Black America 10 years later, we did a version a decade ago, we found that over the last 10 years, black people have lost ground in every major economic category. In every major category, black folk have lost ground. Now, clearly, one cannot lay that exclusively at the feet of Mr. Obama. There was a headwind of obstructionism.
That's true.
But his most loyal constituency didn't gain any ground over the last 10 years, and that saddens me in a way that I can't even describe.
But that's because of the basic Obama policy, which was all government all the time. Private enterprise would be tightly regulated, rich people would be taxed more, and you'd just run up the debts. And it didn't work for anybody, quite frankly, except maybe the super rich.
Yeah, well, the rich always get richer and the poor get poorer, and this gap between the rich and the rest of us continues to expand. But here's why I like what Bernie Sanders is saying, and respectfully, here's why I disagree with you. What we haven't focused enough on in this country is poverty, income inequality, and economic immobility, and all three of those things are tied together. And so that the rich and the lucky continue to do better, and we continue to talk about trickle down. If the rich do better, then the poor will do better. A rising tide will lift all boats. That theory just doesn't hold.
But it does.
It doesn't.
Economic growth raises everybody's boat, and it gives everybody a shot at moving up the food chain. Look, you and I are very alike. We both come from humble backgrounds, arrive in America and do our thing and succeed, going to the top. That's what your book's all about.
Yeah.
You can't succeed like that. America doesn't work without strong economic growth. It just doesn't.
I'm all for economic growth, but I'm also for fundamental fairness, and that's what this country lacks. And so that a rising tide lifts all boats if you have a boat, but if you're in a dinghy, much less just diddling around in the water, then you're really in trouble.
Long time since I heard an American use the word dinghy.
No, but no,
it's not an American word.
You have to have something. You have to have something to rise up in. And furthermore, if the tide comes up too fast, then you get taken under anyway. And so this notion of a rising tide lifts all boats is nuanced in a lot of different ways.
Could some black folks vote for Donald Trump? Would you support them doing it?
I suspect, every election, some black vote for Republicans. Mitt Romney had about, what, 4% last time around, something like that, 6%. I thought before Donald Trump went completely nutty,
I contest that.
And I know you would, and you're entitled to it. It's your program. I have called him before, and will call him again, a racial arsonist. He's setting fires everywhere he goes. I think he's irascible. I think he's unrepentant. We will see in the coming days whether or not he disciplines himself enough to get the nomination.
We would like to see.
But I don't think that fortune and fame fix the flaws. Donald Trump's true colors have already been seen, and so the American people will have their say.
I do want to talk about your book, and I've only got 10 seconds. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. It's surely about the American dream, which we both share.
That's true.
Am I going to get something out of that if I read it?
You absolutely will. You and everybody else, I think. It's a book that certainly is a good gift for college graduates and high school graduates right about now, but also a good gift for those who are stuck, whose dreams and aspirations are still unrealized, and for those people like me who still think every day they can get better. I've gotten a lot of good advice.
We were stuck in our 20s, weren't we? Yeah. Both of us.
We were.
And you know who got me out of the mess?
Who did?
Ronald Reagan. He gave me a whopping great big tax break, and I took off.
You know who put me in a mess? Ronald Reagan. But it's a book that I hope will inspire people, empower people, and uplift people to make better choices and live better lives. I just want people to get the most out of whatever they have.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. Great to have you on the show.
Good to see you.
If you're not careful, you get an invite back.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Tavis, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Stuart. My pleasure.